What is up? Celtics late night. First of the floor.
Super late night. West Coast edition.
Night.
Super
West
late
Coast.
night.
Yeah, shout out anybody that's still up on the East Coast. Yeah, I've been putting Greeny through the ringer today between telling him the wrong time when I tweeted out the show.
Yeah, that was tight. I was like, crap, I gotta walk my dogs. I was like, how am I gonna do all this? I thought I had an extra hour. That was tough.
Yeah,
but we're here. We made it.
And then Green comes in and he's like, I can't hear you. What's going on? I always fuck up. And then it was me. It was me. I'm the fucking guy.
Listen, late night, West Coast trip. Weird shit happens. You know, it's part of the gig.
Weird shit happens, but one thing that's not weird at this point is the Celtics winning basketball games.
Unbelievable.
That's just what they do. I don't know how long ago we spoke. It's been a little while, but
like way before All-Star. Way before All-Star.
But me and Spoonie were like, we had 18 losses, and we were like, 40-20 is probably not happening.
So that was what, after the Bulls game winner, right?
Yeah.
The Herbert or the Kevin Herter game winner. Yeah, that was some bullshit.
That felt like it. And then we looked at the schedule and we're like, okay, well, I kind of as a joke was like, well, we'll win the Rockets back to back. That's easy.
Right.
You just
beat the Mavs.
Win. And I was like, oh, maybe they and I said maybe they beat the Nuggets as well.
I did the same thing though. You know, I think it was February 1st. I put it out of their schedule. I was like, can you find 9 wins in this stretch? And they basically needed an undefeated February to do it. They could lose one time. And you're looking at it and you're like, man, I kind of want to have that loss banked for the Phoenix, Denver back-to-back if we can get there. And now here we are. We don't have the win to bank, but they can still pull it up. They'll be, 11-1 in February if they win out? Because the Nets game is in February, isn't it? So
it's a short, stupid month. This team is a delight.
It's unbelievable.
Just genuine delight. Like I was teaching the future of Australian swimmers today earlier in the morning, and I was just like, it's different to like the 2024 season where I'm like excited to watch, but there's like this pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And this season is like, I'm just genuinely excited to watch this basketball team play basketball. I know they're going to bust their balls every night, every possession. They're like the most bankable experience in the NBA. It feels like, even if they lose, you know they're going to play the same way.
Right. The best way, because I think about that a lot too, right? Because I think we both at the beginning of the season were like, hey, if they win, great, because that means that their young guys are hitting. If they lose, whatever, because that helps you. When I look at this season where we are, it's the same game-to-game feeling as like the 2016-17 Isaiah Celtics, but the team has the ceiling of the 2024 Celtics. You know what I mean? So, like, right now, you have the game-to-game, grind it out. I mean, they won a game today with a 49% true shooting percentage.
It's crazy.
Like, it's just unbelievable. And they won, they were up by 28 points.
Destroyed them.
Right? So that's the kind of shit that you felt in the Isaiah series where it's like every night they're just scrappy. You're going to get high effort, high energy. They have this one singular MVP discussion guy who's going to make a no worse than second team All NBA. You play defense, but the trump card is your ceiling is a generational offensive team that gets to add Jason Tatum to the mix potentially. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't have the pressure of 2024.
That's the thing.
You have the potential, and you can have the day-to-day vibe of the 16-17 year where it was just like a magical run behind Isaiah out of nowhere.
Yeah, at some point the team is who they are. Like we're what, 50 plus 55
59 games, right?
59 games into the season.
Not a math guy, not a big math guy, but I think it's something like that.
Well covered on this show. They've played a lot of basketball games. Like
this is who they are. Big enough. Like at some point you have to say the sample is large enough to determine, who everybody is in the league.
Like March is coined by Ball podcast is Mickey Mouse March for a reason. Because you get to that point in the season, it's
right.
And you got to be careful the other way, where you stop buying into the sample. We're almost at the point of the season where you need to not read into too much.
Now, let me ask you this: when you're thinking of who they are, right? We're saying the sample is there a case to be made that they're actually better than their record suggests? And I say that because you look over the course of their season, right? You have the Utah loss where Jaylen was tripped. Right, you have the Siakam illegal screen. You have, I think,
Michael Porter Jr.
8 or 9 games by 5 or less. Right, so half of those are coin flips. So if you say you have 3 to 4, those bounces go the other way, or a foul like in that Jazz game is actually called, and that loss turns into a win. Are you really I don't know, 41? Do you have 41? Are you a 41, 42 win team at this stage of the season? That's where I think the discussion needs to shift to. Not oh my God, the Celtics are 39-18. Is it really they're actually a low 40s caliber team as it stands right now?
Yeah, well, it's similar to Charlotte or any team, even the Clippers. You kind of need to throw out, and I know Zach Lowe talked about this the other day, you need to throw out the first 15 games of Charlotte's season at this point. Who they were when they were 3-13, who the Celtics were when they were 0-3,
or 5-7 in mid-November.
That's not who they are. Right. So I think there's no question. It's just whether or not that matters to the 40-20 gods or not.
I mean, listen, the fact that they are pushed last year they took it to 40-16. So they weren't, quite in the danger zone. They weren't living on the edge like we are now. But the fact that they've
felt like it.
The fact that they've pushed it like they have to the brink, and this last push coming on a post All-Star break West Coast trip is pretty impressive. Just to have the 18th loss following that Chicago buzzer beater, to then rip off, what is it? 9 out of 10 or something like that, or some insane run like that is just. And then the context around it is you have games like tonight where, again, you don't play all that well for the most part offensively. You didn't score 100 points.
Shoot well.
Right, you didn't shoot well, I should say.
Yeah.
You didn't score 100 points, and you won comfortably. Right? That's why tomorrow is are they going to be the team that beats Denver and loses to Brooklyn? Because that's just our life. Or is this the basketball gods saying, listen, 40-20 is real. You're getting Tatum back. If you're a legitimate contender, you need to check off this box. Why can't that be what's about to happen?
It very much can be. I think going into tomorrow, I looked at it. They're 2.5 point underdogs, I think. 3.5. That's nothing in the game of basketball. The Nuggets have not been great lately. Their defense has been atrocious. We should probably stick on this game for now, for a little bit. Not great, I guess, for the Jaylen Brown on-offs. But it's not Jaylen Brown's fault that the rest of the team and Joe Mazzulla is this fucking good. It's
I don't know.
Jaylen Brown's fault that Derrick White, Derrick White might be the greatest basketball player of all time. That might also be true.
It's really remarkable. He is a living testament. You always say if this guy never made a shot, could he still impact a game? Or he's actively unable, aside from today where he kind of got back to normal. But for the majority of the season, without a jump shot, without a floater, without a mid-range game, all of it up 40%, he is still to this day not only an impactful player, but I don't know, even though he didn't make the All-Star team, I can't think of 24 players better than him right now, even without a jump shot.
Yeah. In hindsight, the fact that someone like Norm Powell essentially made the All-Star game over them because he made an extra 1.5 threes per game, where, man, his power is no bounds at this point. When it like the defense that he's playing this season is, I mean, that's how he's making up for the shot making
It's
issues.
that, and it's his ball security.
Yeah, it's incredible.
He's just
One turnover
only
tonight.
one turnover. I looked it up. He has over 4,300 touches and under 100 turnovers leading into tonight. So he still is under 100 because he only had one. And it's just the fact that, for me, that was one of the things in this new role for him. It's, yes, the scoring bump, the self-creation bump, but there was also a offensive initiator playmaking bump that needed to happen. And he has responded in a way, I think, there was, I think he's up to over like 7 assists since Pritchard went to the bench, and his turnovers have stayed the same, if not lower. It's just, you add that to the defense, and that's how you can live with the fact that he's not having a good shooting season. But again, in a game like tonight, he's always capable.
Yeah.
Like, you have to guard Derrick White, basically, even though he's only shooting 32% from three.
It doesn't matter. And like, just like the Lakers game where I thought that the game was summed up when Walsh missed a three, Vanderbilt rebounded the ball, Derrick White back taps it, back to Ugo, back to Derrick, alley-oop to Vooch. Like today, they're up 28. The lead got down to 13. 14?
I think 13 to 14, yeah.
Yeah. And, we kind of experienced this with the Warriors game. Like, it's impossible, basically, for a team to come back by that much. But you start to feel a little...
You just need the breather room. You need the bucket. Yeah. You need the bucket or two to get it back into like the 16 to 18 range.
And who did it?
To 10 to 14.
It's Derrick White hits a midi.
Yeah.
And then they get another stop. Ron Harper hits a three. Derrick White has an and one. Misses the free throw. And I'm like, okay, marking that one down.
Yeah.
6 minutes to go. Next possession, Derrick White and Cater just like swallow done at the rim. And I'm
they gave that to Cater, right?
They gave it to Cater.
I don't know about that.
It was like a team sack, where both guys get like half a sack.
Yeah.
Destroys him, and then Baylor hits a three on the other end, and they go back up by 22 in like the blink of an eye. And Derrick White's at the middle of the entire thing.
He also had, I think it was early in the third quarter, or maybe late. It was in the second half. I can't remember. Or maybe it was I'm trying to remember when he had the contested step back. Maybe that was to give them the lead in the first half is what I'm thinking.
That was, it was when they were trying to come back.
Yeah.
And it like put them up by it was like 44-40 or something
so
like that.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Like efficiency wise, that's not a high percentage look, but yet I never want him to stop taking that shot regardless of what he shoots on the season because I know that he can make it.
It's what's funny about that shot. He hit that. It reminded me so much of the Houston back-to-back game that they won without Jaylen, where it was like Derrick has not been able to hit a wide open shot for weeks now. And then all of a sudden he starts hitting these like late shot clock, step back, self-created, ridiculous shots, and they start going in. And that shot was like, I wonder if that's going to kind of be the turning point. And basically from that, I mean, they'd already kind of made a run, but from then, someone put it in the chat there that 50-11 run in the second and third quarter. That
it was the lowest defensive third quarter of any team in the NBA. I saw somebody, I think Taylor Snow tweeted that out. I think
crazy.
Best defensive third quarter in the NBA this season. It's just
stupid. It's
just unbelievable, and think of who they're doing it with:
Baylor Scheinman and Ron Harper Jr.
Right?
What are you trying to say?
But I'm just like that's what's so. I just can't get over the fact when I saw Baylor Scheinman play defense in summer league, it was nothing like what we are seeing in the regular season. He didn't stay in front of anybody. He just tried the reach around steal, and now it's like I'm watching him guard Luka. I'm watching him be effective in this game. It's just, and I don't even know if it's not even that he's just like super quick and super athletic. He's just super disciplined and moves his feet and uses his size to absorb contact. It's way better than I thought he could be as a defensive player at this level based on what we saw in the first, year plus, summer league of his career.
The sample size is growing defensively. Like the shot on the season is pretty, like if you freeze it right here on his 3-point percentage, you'd absolutely take that. Thinking in the chat, seriously, Greeny, what changed? Joe Mazzulla and his coaching staff, like they're basically saying you're not going to play unless you defend and rebound, or you defend and you attempt to defend and rebound. That looks like you're willing to die out there, and that's what everyone out there is kind of willing to do. Baylor again, 11 rebounds tonight, 8 of them.
And I feel like he got shortchanged on some of those offensive rebounds. I feel like he had
when he's in there, like tapping.
That happened way more than 3 offensive rebounds. I feel like so. In my mind, he really had like maybe 13 or 14 rebounds, just because I feel like he's involved in way more offensive tap outs than 3. But maybe that was just what I wanted to see. And but I think it's interesting because nothing he does is like spectacular, right? Like we're thinking of skill sets that's just being in the right spot, trying hard, and high effort. You know what I mean? So it's like when you think of him as a player, it's not like he's like blowing your dick off of like, oh my God. But at the same time, he's impacting winning. It's like they found singular things for every one of these depth guys to focus on. And Joe's just like, if you do this one thing at a high level, I'll play you. And think about it. Even Walsh in his 9 minutes today, what did we see? Active on the glass, active defensively, hit a 3. Crazy. He didn't even play in the second half because you couldn't take Baylor off the floor. Why? Because he was rebounding. He hit a couple mid-ranges. He was playing with high energy and high effort. So it's like they're not being tasked with crazy, like no one's saying, Baylor, go like initiate your own offense and score 20. It's like, hey, man, just crash from the weak side corner and good things are going to happen. Like, that's it.
He's really good at it. And then, like, that was definitely part of his draft profile was the plus rebounding for his size and position. That's absolutely translated. I cannot believe the defense has been this good. I posted, like, a video of a bunch of Baylor's, like, defensive clips today. Yeah, he played really well against Luka. He's had good reps against Wemby, Cade, Brunson. Like, they've legitimately deployed him as like their number one perimeter stopper in a bunch of these games. And it's
like another Hauser Island. It's like
it's like
the province of Shireman, and then it's like a smaller Hauser Island. An underdeveloped, construction hasn't started yet on Shireman Island.
Well, it's just like where I live, Tasmania is just the tiny island underneath the giant island. I guess Baylor can be Tasmania in this metaphor.
It's like real estate. You better buy your plots now. The plots are going. Construction is underway. It just hasn't really started yet for the most part.
Yeah, and the plots are. It's again another apt analogy. But I really like Ron Harper.
Yeah, he's another guy. You couldn't get him off the floor.
He ends up only 3 for 10 and 2 for 7 from 3. I thought all of his 3 took 1 3. I thought he was a little aggressive on, but he had 1 3 go in and out. Have you looked at his G League numbers? He's
wasn't he
very high volume
MVP, wasn't he?
Or very high, like 10 threes a game on like 39+%. Like the dude can fucking stroke it, at least in the G League. And then something I didn't realize. So have you seen on Data Baller, they added this like wingspan category. And you can filter by like the largest difference between height and wingspan. It's like Taylor Horton-Tucker, which is random, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Stewart.
NBA anymore?
He's in Data Baller's thing. I
thought he was overseas.
Good friend Robert Williams with a plus 9.5-inch height to wingspan difference. Yeah. And then Ron Harper, 9.25 difference, a 7 foot 1.25 wingspan.
I mean, you saw it on that block,
you see it?
Right? I mean,
the block, and I really see it on the rebounding and like on the contests. Like the dude's fucking long. The athleticism is there. I like the way he's playing within himself. But then at the same time, I'm like, does it matter who plays for this team?
I know, right?
I don't know.
Because you know what's funny? Because like even Garza comes in, immediately gets an
rebound, put back, hits a 3. I'm like, all right.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it just does not matter. But I also think that's just the development program, right? Like it's just, they say it all the time, whether it's Celtics University, the culture, whatever you want to say. It's just like everyone is so bought in. It's a level of buy-in that we saw in the 24 championship season. That's the last time. Like, that was the same thing. Anytime anybody came into the game, good stuff happened, right? It's like the same thing this year. And the high effort part, I do think will even out once you get to the playoffs.
That's the thing.
And everybody has high effort, right? So you just have to hope that what's going to come through in the playoffs is the skill development that is a result of all these guys getting the minutes and having that high effort, developmental type year. Because we saw, just like with the Isaiah Celtics, once everybody's trying the try hard level, it's not a differentiator for a title run. You have to actually be able to execute at a championship level. And that's where you need Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? That's the Tatum piece. For now, it's like, hell yeah, win through missing every shot you take, but then hustling and getting every rebound. So it doesn't even matter. I mean, they had 22 offensive rebounds. That's just,
they should have been up 20 like in the first quarter, but they couldn't make a shot.
Right.
They had like 9 offensive rebounds with 8 minutes through the game. That is definitely a concern when you think about the playoffs. It's like, how much of this can translate? But at the same time, the low turnover rate definitely translate.
Yeah.
That is like one of the key things.
Their high turnover rate when facing ball pressure is
it can be. It's definitely something that they've like Pritchard and Derrick White and Tatum, while he has been prone to, he suppresses the overall turnover rate of the team. So like, I do think that specific thing will definitely translate. And something that we've talked about from the beginning of the season, and how that's probably going to be either an Achilles heel for this regular season, but especially be an Achilles heel in the playoffs, is the defensive rebounding.
Right.
And
solved.
This is why Joe Mazzulla is the coach of the year. But so October, they were 28th in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
November, 26th.
30th. Oh, okay.
Not quite. They were a little bit better. December, 18th. January 9th. In February, they're first in defensive rebounding percentage.
Crazy.
And we sat here and we're like, you can't really solve this. This is kind of a personnel problem. Right.
Yeah, you have to just accept it. Yeah.
Dumbasses.
Idiots. To think that we knew what the hell was gonna like more than, well, really what's incredible about it is not necessarily the fact that they solved it. I mean, Vucevic has helped, right, to some degree, but they're not. It's the jump. I feel like isn't really coming from the bigs. It's wings.
It's all the wings.
It's the collective rebounding effort, and that's when you have to point back to the preseason rule of if you don't rebound, I'm taking you away out of this game.
That worked. Apparently,
it worked. It has scared everybody at every position, And I think Hauser even said it today in his post game. He was like, "We all know that Joe does not care, and he will take you out at any moment and play someone that will die." So it's like that is how but that's where you have to. Does that get balanced out in a playoff series where maybe the ancillary pieces are boxing out more and it comes down to, can you box out a 7-footer?
Exactly.
That's what
Mitchell Robinson off the glass.
Right.
So I mean, I will say Cater's defensive rebounding has improved significantly through all season. Tonight he was a beast. In the Lakers game, he was a beast. The offensive rebounding has also ticked back up. But the defensive rebounding, he's really popped lately.
I would say if you don't have imposing center on the floor,
he can mash you a little bit.
Enes Kanter will dominate those minutes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's hard to pick what's
like the Lakers didn't have. I mean, they have Ayton, but he's
perfect for right. Perfect.
You look at the teams that they've played recently, where I feel like Kanter's played pretty well. They're all pretty small. Golden State. Those are just teams where if he stays on the floor, it's an automatic double-double. Yeah. This was no different. I just did not feel like the Suns had any legit size, and I felt like he could get whatever he wanted on either end. Like Mark Williams was okay, I guess, but he's not an opposing. It's, he's hurt for the year. I would say Steven Adams, but it's like the Jalen Durans, like the Mitchell Robinsons, like
those are the real tests.
The seven, like the Nurkic, these big bruising.
Well, that's
centers.
up though. Like you're trying to make the finals, and 2 of the 3 teams that you may have to go through, the Pistons and the Knicks, 2 teams that I've been worried about because of our defensive rebounding problems. Well, maybe we don't have to be as worried, but it's can you pull it off against those teams?
Right.
And I feel better about it now. And that was a big adjustment late when they did cut into the lead. Vooch was out there.
Yep.
Cater straight back in. Team high plus 29 tonight. 13 rebounds, 14 points, 2 blocks, 0 turnovers, and only 2 fouls.
And I will say, with Vooch in the mix, I feel better about their playoff rebounding than I do if they were entering the postseason with Simons and only adding Tatum as a defensive rebounder. Even if he has limitations, like he's still big, he's still sturdy. He's not going to get pushed off his spot like Porzingis may have, or Al may have in his older age. He's big and he's sturdy and he's a career rebounder. So it's like even just having that in your rotation sets you up better, than you were ahead of the deadline.
Yeah. Well, another classic. As soon as they released this wingspan thing, I was like, I love wingspans.
You're a big wingspan guy.
Well, as someone that doesn't have height, for my height, my wingspan's not bad, but I'm always jealous of the dimension guys. I did not realize, and it makes a lot of sense now, but Vooch has a 7'4.5" wingspan. Yeah, and that's why he's a great defensive rebounder. Incredibly long arms, and he's very sturdy. And
what's Amari? Amari Williams has to be pretty big too, right? His wingspan has to be crazy.
Let's see if I can find him quickly. That shouldn't be too difficult. What the hell? He's not in the.
You're gonna have Taylor Horton Tucker, but not Amari Williams.
It's got Cam Williams, who's a Celtics player apparently, but Amari's not in there.
Listen, I've been watching.
I'm gonna email these guys time. I wonder if it's. No, he came from Kansas. I was wondering if it's because he's from like the UK or something. I don't know. That's very odd. Anyway, but replacing Vooch for Gaza, essentially, we're still mashing people on the offensive glass, but the defensive rebounding is just better with Vooch. So, as much as Gaza was killing on the offensive glass, the team is still killing on the offensive glass.
They haven't lost anything in their offensive rebound rate. Right.
And then the overall offense, I think, is better with Vooch just because his passing is elite, man. That's really
I trust even though Garza's, I think, 45% from 3 on low volume, I still trust Vooch taking a pick and pop 3 more, just for the body of work. But I will say, I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was on one of the pregame shows. I saw someone when they first traded for him. It was a comment on Celtics Reddit. And it was like, what if this is just Fournier 2.0? Of he does need to show me that he can make jumpers and execute in high leverage playoff situations. Like that, we still need to see. But the rebounding, the passing, like that all, I don't think we'll have to worry about. But remember, we all thought, man, they're bringing in Fournier, who's going to be like this, 18, 20 point per game scorer off the bench. The guy couldn't hit a jump shot to save his life. So
I still wish if we could see the universe where he doesn't get COVID immediately. And he basically couldn't see. Remember, he was like, I can't see very well at the moment.
But you always wonder about can he be the Aaron Gordon edition and not the he was for the Nuggets on his decreased role and not what we got when we had Evan Fournier. Unfortunately,
he's really unleashed the cutting of Ugo and Walsh in particular when they're out there. I really like.
Hauser's even running cuts.
Oh, they ran that play a few times tonight. That was stack back cut. Cater hit one, Vooch hit one. That was beautiful. Just so everyone knows, Ugo, 6'10" and 3/4 wingspan. They just got a bunch of dudes that have a 7 feet wingspan.
You think Brad has a type? I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I saw someone in the chat earlier mentioned Carson Edwards might be the one guy that wouldn't be thriving in this Missoula ball system. Maybe that's like the true test of Missoula's.
I don't know.
I think he make it happen?
We saw. I mean, until we see him not be able to completely flip a player, there is no. He could probably make Ben Simmons into an All NBA player again. That's how much I believe in him and what he's capable of.
There's no argument against it at this point. So Peyton Pritchard, 2 for 13, but I didn't think he played bad.
No, played great. Well, I don't know about played great, but he played. You know, his shooting struggles did not hinder his overall impact, is what I would say.
I mean, and he was kind of due for something like this. He had been on just fucking.
I don't give a shit. He just lit up the Lakers. I don't care if he missed every shot he took. Like
30 piece on 95% true shooting.
Yeah, man. Like
that was one of the best.
All your buckets on Sunday. No big deal, man.
That's great.
Statistically, history tells me you'll be right back to normal tomorrow night. You know, also, you never have 2 stinkers in a row. So it's like I'm not even worried about it.
Tonight is definitely the night between the Lakers and the Nuggets games where you're going to go 2 for 13.
Right.
Tonight was the night to do it.
Like, let me tell you, if he goes 2 for 13 tomorrow night, they're not going to beat the Nuggets.
That's probably
needs to play. They need to play like they did against the Lakers in terms of, you know, big 3 scoring production. Just because that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, and I love it was a great spot to get Jaylen some rest. Like, you know, the Suns are missing Brooks and Devin Booker. Like, you should have won tonight. I didn't have time to get the bet in, but I was like, because the line moved a little bit towards the Suns after the Jaylen announcement, which went from like 6.5 to 4.5. I was like, I bet you the Celtics still roll these guys. Like,
but you know, there's always, I mean, it's hard to imagine it hasn't happened yet, but there's always one game or so on a West Coast trip that just, you know, last West Coast trip, it was the Portland game, right? They went 3-1 on that trip.
Yeah.
I think that if they win tomorrow night, that they could be 7-1 on their 2 West Coast trips is like, it's just another thing to add to the list of just mind-numbing realities of this team.
Yeah, they're 9-1 in the last 10, 4-game winning streak going into Denver. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, as far as just enjoying basketball right now, like the Lakers game was big. You saw a lot of Lakers fans being like, this is like the Lakers have not been able to prove that they can beat anyone real. Everyone's healthy.
Pat Riley night.
Big. And you just get teabagged by Peyton Pritchard.
And you know, that's for the Celtics, I think it was big too, because you know, they hadn't faced that trio. You know, they didn't. I mean, they do kind of own Luka just in terms of they know how to scout him, they know how to defend him.
He's like Embiid now to me.
Yeah.
And it's like they know how to guard him. You need to be able to beat guys.
Great comp.
The guys that post us are like the Donovan Mitchells of the world, where it's like they can crack you off the dribble and they actually compromise your defense consistently. Luka doesn't do that to the Celtics. They just like switch pretty much everything, or they play that drop and Luka just doesn't get to the rim in the same way anymore. He's trying to get into like that mid-range spot and foul bait.
I like that Embiid comp because it's like whenever we face Embiid, like we have never been like, oh my God, we got to play Embiid. It's like, yes, we get to play Embiid. Yeah. Like that's how I feel playing Luka. But
it flipped with Luka because remember early in his career, he hit like those 3 game winners over us. Like one of them was on Kevin Garnett night.
That's true. That was true. They did beat us on Kevin Garnett.
But he is not athletic anymore.
Right.
He's peaked athletically at least.
He peaked in high school.
he may have peaked in high school. Like he probably was the greatest high school player of all time. So I like this game was incredibly fun. It's just like kind of turning on one of your favorite TV shows at this point. And we've hit most of the guys tonight. How were you? We hit Vooch. Do you want to do the Jaylen Brown? Like, because it's getting weird again. It always gets weird when it comes to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. We had the I don't know even what ESPN show it was, but it was like if Jaylen Brown
that radio
does that make Jaylen Brown's career better than Jason Tatum's career? Like, why is it always? It always has to be this. We can just talk about straight MVP stuff because that's like a little more normal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's the plague of being who they are that this is just part of the gig, right? Like they're always going to be pit against each other. They're always going to be, narrative forms one way or the other. It's all just so. I'm at the point now where it's like it'll always annoy me, and I'll always fail at ignoring it, but we are in such a unique and special time in Celtics history. Like, I truly just can't give a shit, Okay, cool. Like, if you guys want to spend your time to, like, the fact that you're getting that in the Boston market with Boston radio is like, that's another level. Like, you could actually talk about what's happening on national shows for guys that aren't watching every night. I get it. The fact that it happens locally is like, why can't you just talk about what is arguably the greatest story in the season in the entire NBA? Like, why can't that be the talking point? I just, that's just how it's always going to be.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and it is dumb to get frustrated about, but it's like, how much time did those same shows spend shitting on Joe Mazzulla? Like, why aren't there now clips about like it's a one-man race?
You would think, but people are trying to,
I know. There's other guys that just like, even the Suns coach tonight, like he's had another team that's exceeded expectations in a way that no one expected them to. Bickerstaff, even the Pistons are being on pace for like 60 plus 65 wins. That is incredibly impressive as well. So I don't want to, it's a little bit of hyperbole to say it is a one-man race,
but I agree with you. It is a one-man race. I mean, like objectively,
it's like we were going back to. It's like it doesn't matter. Like the Ron Harper, the Baylor, the Hal. Like, it just doesn't matter who rolls out there.
Tonight is a prime example. They started 4 players from their G League system, and 4 of them were minimum players. They were without their number 1 option, and they went on the road and beat a playoff team, albeit shorthanded, but a tough, a good team on the road, and they were up by as many as 28. How do we think that happens?
And without hitting any threes,
and they could not make a shot. So how do we? Let's just think about how that could possibly happen. Like, I think
he's awesome.
I don't think anybody has had a PR jump like Mazzulla had. Because what did we always have to fight for his first 3 years? Oh, he's a talent merchant. Oh, he doesn't know what he's. You cannot make that case this year. His production has not dropped off. I know that you don't think it's a considerable drop off.
Hey, I was just about to say we had the back. You know what? Yeah, if anyone didn't see me and Greeny, like I was like because Jaylen was on his thing about how there's been no drop off, and he is right, and I'm wrong because it's funny like that at that point I'm like, yeah, but from this moment the Celtics kind of ripped off
a
fuckload of wins and got to 61 still, and I'm like, well, I guess they're doing it again.
I know it's not the same. It's different. They're going different about it in a different way. But the end result is in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
How do we think that happens?
And I've been talking out of 2 sides of my mouth.
Head coach,
because I've been talking out of 2 sides of my mouth on that. Because like Jaylen, the impact numbers, the efficiencies, like not going to match the other guys. But I think of all like the top guys, no one had a bigger leadership void to field and a bigger leadership responsibility to deal with Jaylen, with so much turnover and so many young guys and so many unproven guys. There's a lot of credit to be handed out. Mazzulla obviously deserves a lot. Derrick, all these guys, but like Jaylen is the head of the snake. He's the guy who sets the example. I always point to the.
You look at it like this. It's a hierarchy of how the NBA works, right? And I think tonight's game is a good example of this, right? They were dominant in areas because they have players on their roster who are exceptional at filling their role. They also didn't break 100 points, and they couldn't score, and they really couldn't they couldn't create the offensive execution that would be required to beat a really good team or the contending teams in the NBA. So when you think of where Jaylen fits into that, his role is hell or high water. You have to be 25 to 30 points a night. Like that's what Jason Tatum was giving this offense. Like you cannot, it can't be an every other night thing. That has to be a consistent every night role. Now, because of how he plays and because of, his shot volume and his shot diet, he's not going to be a 60% true shooting guy, right? He's not going to make 4 or 5 threes a game. He's going to operate in historically low efficient zones like the mid-range. So there's going to be fluctuation there. But for the Celtics to be successful, they need that go get a bucket, 30-point per game scorer. That's his role. To sort of raise his deficiencies, you have the plug all hold player in Derrick White, who just raises all ships. So it's like, okay, Jaylen, where you may struggle in this area, we know that we need to make up for Tatum's playmaking in other areas. We can have a more guard-oriented offense and initiated offense without Tatum, so you don't have to worry about that. Your playmaking has improved, but they don't run a wing-initiated offense through Jaylen like they do through Tatum. So it's like everybody works together, but without that lead guy, everybody scouts the lead guy differently, right? Nobody is scouting Derrick White or Peyton Pritchard as the number one option on the Celtics. So that role requires a lot of pressure and a lot of consistency, or you're not going to be able to reach your ceiling. So that's where I see Jaylen's MVP sort of candidacy is like, he does not have a margin for error for him to not consistently produce. And it may not be the most efficient. He may have to take 30 shots to get there, but they need his 30 points every night on, for the most part of the season to win at the level that they're winning at.
Yeah, it's and like when you get to the playoffs, when we talk about is this like very clear try hard more than everybody else culture going to translate? What we know is that Jaylen Brown, like the shot difficulty for Jaylen Brown's like pretty much the same in the regular season as it is in the playoffs. And he has the capability of doing it in the half court against the tough defenses, against basically anybody. And that's what makes him a really great playoff player. And that's been true for his entire career.
And that's what makes the Jays such a successful playoff duo, because it's the same thing with Tatum, right? Like if you look at just the other teams in the East, right? If you look at the Knicks, who do you say that about? Really only Jalen Brunson, right? He's the only one who you feel good about, like getting his own shot and being that consistent playoff scorer when the role player advantage evens out. You look at Detroit, that player is Cade, right? Like who else are you giving the ball to and say, go beat this defense, get us a bucket. We need something right now, right? If we go to Cleveland, now it's Harden, but for a long time, it was really only Donovan Mitchell. So it's like the Celtics have 2 of those players. So one is hard enough to stop. You add 2 of those elements, it's a pick your poison. Now you've chosen wrong and you're in rotation, and now Derrick White has hit a 3.
How are you going with the Tatum watch situation? Because I'm letting
my brain do things that should not be doing is where I am. I think, I'm into every conspiracy. I saw one that was a tweet. It was like, signed for 300. That's like Gordon Hayward's coming back on March 23rd. I'm in on all of it. I'll be happy. Obviously, I want to see him play, but I'm of the thought, whatever him and his team want to do is what I want to happen. If that's come back, great. If that's sit, okay, fine. It's just, I just think we're going to see him at some point. I just can't imagine and that Amika commercial. Like, I don't know if you saw that, but I'm in on that conspiracy. Like, you can't be talking about and announcing him coming back to then sit him for the whole year. So I don't know. I'm buying into all of it and just hoping for the best.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting close. And as much as I love how good Baylor Scheinman is, those are essentially the minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's probably like a little bit of Ugo.
A blend of them all.
Yeah, it's a blend of them all. But yeah, it's primarily, like Shireman's not going to be starting at the 3 spot or 4 spot.
I still can't stop laughing at it. It's like starting lineup: Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, Neemias Queta, Baylor Scheinman, Sam Hauser, and we just beat your ass.
Yeah,
beat your ass.
Good. And it has I don't know, like a plus 25 net rating.
Beat your ass. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So adding one of
the.
Now
let me ask you. So I was thinking about this the other day. His first game. Would you prefer the starter intro announcement for him, or the first sub solo ovation?
Fuck.
Both are awesome.
I honestly didn't even think about the first.
Even if he eventually starts, I just was thinking when Wemby came back from his injury, you play like a game or two off the bench.
Steph's
right?
done it before.
So I was thinking maybe you start him, and then in his first sub back into the game, you let that be a solo sub, so he can get the best of both.
That's the best answer, I guess. Then
I was thinking about that. I was like, I think I just solved it. Just start him and then play him, the 2 or 3 minutes, and then whatever his minute restriction is, and then the next time he comes in, have him be the only sub, and then he gets another, the off the bench.
Yeah, I have definitely been dreaming about and from Duke.
Right, like I need
number
to hear
0.
That. I need to hear that, but I also want him to get the solo ovation. It's
100%.
Yeah.
So the Knicks lost today. This is our last thing here.
Yeah.
Giving us
and the Raptors lost too.
I lost too. Yeah, we're really starting to build we're basically safe from the play-in.
Oh yeah.
And we're building a very comfortable cushion from basically getting home court now as well.
Here's the other part of the
5 in the losses.
Yeah, here's the other part of the 40-20 benchmarks. You need to finish the top 3 seed. That's non-negotiable. Only 2 teams in the history of the NBA have won the title, not as a top 3 seed. So you can't drop lower than 3 if your dreams are winning a title. So the fact that they're up 3 in the loss column on both Cleveland and New York is big. And I'll just say they're within 5 of Detroit, who plays the Thunder tomorrow. So that could, in theory, get as close to 4 in the loss column. Really, it turns into 5 because they own the head-to-head.
I was going to say they got the tiebreaker.
Yeah. So, you could be, by the time Tatum maybe comes back, mid to late March, maybe, who knows? Is there a world where you're 3 in the loss column back, 2 in the loss column back? Their schedule is pretty crazy. So it's I don't know. I'm not ruling out the 1 seed if Tatum comes back and they're under 3 or less in the loss column. I think the 1 seed would be in play.
It's a big ask with this many games left, but it's in play. It's a 5 in the loss column plus a tiebreaker with 20-ish games to go is
tough. They need to lose 4 out of 6 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you look, they play Cleveland twice. They have another game with San Antonio. They're playing OKC tomorrow. So it's they maybe they go 3-3, maybe 4-2, but I don't know. Crazy shit happens sometimes in the NBA. So I'm just saying there's a window. There's a slight crack in the window, is all I'm saying.
So technically our schedule though is harder than their schedule remaining.
I think that's because we have to play OKC twice. We're about to play Denver.
OKC twice.
I think we got
San
the
Antonio,
first one.
Knicks,
And
Cleveland,
our
Denver.
easy wins that early in the year, like Charlotte, are now no longer easy wins. You know what I mean? So
it's basically even, but that's just why I would be that seems like a big ask. Do you have a preference on this? Let's just say the 1 seed is kind of locked up. on the ordering of 2, 3, 4. Because for me, it's very easy. I'd rather be in the 2, 3 spot with bracket with Cleveland. I'd rather avoid the Knicks and the Pistons because of that offensive rebounding thing. And as much as I hate to admit it, the Knicks have kind of given us trouble going back to the playoffs and this season as well. The offensive rebounding.
You say you want Cleveland in the 3 spot.
I want, or we can be in the 3. I don't really mind. But like that second round bracket, I want Cleveland ahead of New York quite easily for me. Give me Harden and give me that weak rebounding duo and that weak rebounding team.
Okay, so I'm just looking. Okay, because the Raptors, I don't think the Raptors aren't catching. I don't think they're.
I'm just saying, like those are the 2. Like basically, who would you rather have in your bracket, the Knicks or the Cavs?
I'd still probably say Cleveland, just because I think their lights are too bright type team. You know, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is fucking terrifying. You know what I mean? He is not. I do not feel the same way playing him that I do playing Luka. You know, let me put it that way. No. You know what I mean? I know Donovan Mitchell will hurt you. But like you said, rebounding, it's just tough because like
James Harden.
Who are the Cavs, right? Are the Cavs the team that's been playing, you know, the last 20 or so games? They turned their season really around.
Good. Yes.
Or are they the team that, you know, nobody, you know, they're having the normal shooting regression from the year before? I don't know. It's tough. It's both present different challenges. I just can't believe that we would be the team that loses to James Harden.
No, that's the big piece. I like the Donovan Mitchell.
And I'm a James Harden guy. You know, like we went to Arizona State at the same time. Like I'm a James Harden guy, but I just can't see it. Especially if we have 80% Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just can't see it.
What was Bill Simmons calling him the other night? Jimmy Harden for when the honeymoon phase. He comes. Hey, it's Jimmy. He's getting everybody involved. He's shooting catch and shoot threes. He's trying a little bit harder on defense.
The honeymoon phase with Harden is elite basketball. I mean, they are
Jimmy Harden.
They're killing people. What a guy. I mean, don't ask him to come up big in a huge moment, but maybe, you know, that'll be Donovan Mitchell. Who knows?
We'll see. It's gonna be fun to follow. But yeah, we got a 2-game cushion on the Knicks and the Cavs now. And from memory, I believe we've beaten the Cavs twice. We maybe 2-1 against them, if I'm not mistaken.
Have we played them? Have we played them twice?
It was early in the season, so it's been a while. I'm gonna check.
I think it was within the first 5 games.
Quickly here. I hate how Basketball Reference changed the way they did this.
Dude, I hate the new layout of Basketball Reference.
Why did they do that?
Freaking, why are people touching things? Just leave it alone.
We have 2 wins. It was like we smoked them in 125 to 105, 125 to 105, and then we beat them on the back-to-back after losing to Minnesota, which was another great game. And we only played them one more time, so we already have the tiebreaker against Cleveland.
Okay, so
that's nice.
Okay, so you would need them. All right, so you don't own it against the Pistons and the Knicks, and you do own it against the Cavs. Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
Listen, it's always better to have a tiebreaker. That's how nice. I'm of the thought. It's always better to own the tiebreaker. And that's why, you know, again, 1-point loss to the Pistons, you know, that's the tiebreaker, you know, for that. It's just annoying when you think about all these 1, 2, 3-point losses. They should have 44 wins.
Just one more would be really nice right about now. To not need to have to win this Denver game would have been very, very nice.
I'm with you. But this is, you know, this team, they can never take the easy way. They're like adversity addicts. Like they need the hardest road possible.
If that has not been proven now, it's like we needed Jason Tatum to tear his Achilles. We need to lose Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. Go 0-3 to start the season.
Replace them with only minimum players. Never played before in the NBA.
Ron Harper Jr. is going to start and be awesome. I love it.
And in the end, you'll have the second best offense, a top 7 defense, and the third best net rating in the sport.
Fucking hell.
That makes a lot of sense. That happens all the time. That's totally normal.
We're up to second in offense.
Yeah.
And seventh in defense.
And third in net rating. They have the number 1 defense in the last month. 104. It's their defensive rating in the last 12 games. So I looked it up during the 21-22 turnaround where they were like historically unbelievable defensively. From the 25th of December, when they got over 500, they were 25-24. From that moment to the end of the season, they had a 106 defensive rating. This year, from January 25th through today, the Celtics have a 104.4 defensive rating.
The Nikola Vucevic.
They're defending at a better rate than the historic 22 turnaround. That was like an all-time defense.
Yeah, we all knew that Vucevic was a better defender than Robert Williams.
Right? We all knew that. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Good. And you can really feel the defense at the moment. Like it's absurd the level that they're playing at. Greeny, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad the Celtics delivered us. Another game to go for it tomorrow.
Listen, if they pull off 40-20 and you and Spoonie are celebrating 40-20, I want to join. I want in on the 40-20 celebration.
Hey, if you want to go tomorrow night, we definitely can. Okay, but I'll message you. I'll be up because it'll be a normal time in my country.
No, I mean like when they hit it, if they beat the Nets, and if they hit it, and you guys.
All right. Oh, gotcha. Saturday.
Yeah. I want in on the 40-20. This is
all right.
It's the only thing I care about from October to mid-February.
True.
So
if there's no better indicator they're not going to get it, is that I've already decided that if they beat Denver, that they've got it, which means they're definitely losing to the Nets.
Yeah, so you can't do that. But they did already get their bad loss to the Nets out of the way. So
that's a good point. They did need a overtime Hugo Gonzalez buzzer beater in order to get one of their wins against the Nets there.
Listen, don't worry about the details. Okay, wins are wins. Wins are wins. Don't worry about those.
I love it. Greeny, it's been a pleasure. Shout out everybody in the chat. It's been fun tonight. Celtics continue to roll. Till next time. Peace.